welcome to you this wonderful Wednesday afternoon. Bonnie's been thinking that it's Thursday.
Good afternoon indeed. I'm Bonnie Mbuli. Welcome to Afternoon Express. Yes, I did think it was Thursday for a second there, because I can't wait till Friday, okay? Cut me some slack.
So it's Wednesday, and today's just been one of those days, I tell you.
I know.
I haven't been able to think of anything else except a woman cross chicken. And also, I've had the song stuck in my head the whole day. I'll say, Despacito. Oh, Justin Bieber, I'm all over you. Okay, but it is Wednesday, which brings us our Woman Crush Wednesday, and it is none other than the absolutely glorious, the amazing actress, TV presenter, author, ambassador. She is Rosie
She's all
Motene.
things. She's every woman.
Oh, she's
Absolutely
amazing.
love her. We're going to be chatting to her. And if you watch Tropical Island of Treasure on Monday, you'll know who won. Team Anga walked away with the prize.
Wow.
But Sivungezi and Kabonina were a close second, and wounds are still fresh.
He's angry.
He's angry.
I feel so sorry for Sivani's partner because they did such an amazing job. They won everything. They should. I mean,
Siv lives to
I thought
compete.
he was going to win.
So we're going to chat to him and Kabonina to hear about their journey on the Tropical Island of Treasure. Also, we'll be giving you some hair care tips with Jawad Mapoto.
Then if you're following us online, all you need to do is comment on our Facebook page. The question that I'll be asking you today on our social media is, what is your favorite Rosie Motene role? Like, what has been her role that has inspired you most? Is it, one of her characters perhaps in her acting, or something that she's written?
Or even her work as a producer.
Yeah, exactly. What has inspired you most about Rosie Motene? Comment on our Facebook page.
Right, so it is a Wednesday on Afternoon Express Day, and I always like to think of Wednesday in the day being a kind of patty of the week, because Monday, Tuesday is the one bun, Thursday, Friday the other bun, and in the middle is a patty. And today on the show, we're going to be making you the most glorious patty and turning those into delicious sliders. Megan Daniels is our guest chef with us in the loft today. So Meg, how do we make these things? They look amazing. They're like fricadelles, but they've got bacon on them. Looks amazing.
Anything wrapped in bacon, right? And then we're just going to add a very spicy oriental slaw to it.
Oh, deliciousness. And I'll give you all the details on how you can find this recipe a little bit later on, right here on Afternoon Express. My name is Danilo Quest, and we're going to get cooking in the loft kitchen. I hope you're ready to make dinner with us on the show. Now, the ladies did mention it. We have in the loft a powerhouse of a woman. She's dominated in front and behind the camera. Plus, her voice is that soothing sound you'll hear when catching a flight with our national airline, always putting our minds at ease with cabin crew, prepare the cabin for landing. But some of you may also remember her as the feisty Tsecho Motene on Generations back in the day. It's Rosie Motene.
Possible living in the same house as her?
You'll just have to sort out your differences.
Do you think I haven't tried? She is downright hostile towards me. She hates me and makes no secret of it.
If
If you don't believe me, why don't you ask her? In fact, why don't you do just that? Let's have it out, here and now.
we look about client.
How convenient.
We are all adults. We'll have to find a way to compromise.
She doesn't want to compromise, damn it. You saw what she was like this morning. The minute she isn't the center of attraction, she starts sulking.
She feels sidelined.
So this is all about her. What about me? You haven't exactly gone out of your way to make me feel welcome.
Oh, well, we totally make you feel welcome on this couch.
That was ages ago.
But you haven't changed. You still look so amazing.
Girl.
Welcome to the loft.
Thank you.
Lovely to have you with
Good
us.
to see you, ladies.
So I heard that you are an accredited laughter coach. Now, what a great job.
Yes,
I
we
want your
would
job.
actually love a demonstration.
Yeah, please teach us.
The thing is, with the laughter coach, it takes a whole lot of process.
Yeah.
But for instance, let's do a small exercise. Pretend you're going to be greeting somebody. So instead of going, "Hi, how are you?" It's
I do that here permanently.
She does that all the time.
But you just do it continuously laughing. And what I do every morning when I wake up to get into a good mood is, whether I'm in the shower or whether I'm getting dressed, I just go into a bit of laughter.
Really?
Because remember, laughter, you can't die from laughing. At least it hasn't been reported.
Well, I've got
and it releases
asthma.
all of your endorphins. And it's also good for your stomach muscles. So
Does it make you, do you feel that by consciously making yourself happy falsely every morning, you actually do become happier in your life?
absolutely. 100%.
Well, you seem like you've had a very happy life because you're doing really, really well. I mean, I don't even know where to start with all your exploits.
Yeah.
But you also run a Pan-African talent agency.
Waka Talent.
Yes, Waka Talent. And I asked you earlier on while we were getting our makeup done, and I said, have you always known that you were going to have a Pan-African reach and you were going to do work in Uganda? Or was it something that just struck you? And
you know, after Generations, you know, when I decided to leave Generations, I realized, okay, my time here was up. Originally, it was supposed to be 2 years, and 5 years set in. You had the sponsored car, the nice salary, and then it was one day I woke up and I was like, okay, I need something new. And there was this program called Studio 53, and I got a call from the producer saying, well, do you want to be the studio presenter? And I was like, cool, went into it, and then I got to travel the continent. And that totally opened up my mind.
What a great gig.
Yeah, and you know, I traveled the continent as a TV presenter, then was trained as a director and as a producer. And my first visit to Uganda, I was actually the face of Ugandan Fashion Week, which was 2006. And I went into this country and I fell in love. And I said to them, I was like, one day I'm going to live here. And they were like, yeah, right.
and you did?
Yeah, I did. Last year I moved there, packed up everything and moved to Kampala.
So where are you living now?
I'm living between countries.
So what a great life.
Yeah. What do you love most about Uganda?
You know what? What I love about Africa is that the hospitality, the climate. I mean, last year I didn't have a winter. This year I'm suffering because there it's I mean, at least 25 to 35 degrees every single day. It's the humidity. Obviously, the infrastructure is a lot more, isn't as advanced as South Africa. But in terms of everything else, you get by. The people are amazing. The men are gorgeous. And also what's beautiful is that there's an emerging talent that's happening. So where Uganda's sitting and where Kenya's sitting is where Ghana and Nigeria were about 7-8 years ago. And it's just about to explode. So the work that I'm doing is consulting, it's production consulting, conceptualizing shows, and then grooming talent.
Yeah. You also made a transition to producing.
Yeah.
And you produced 2 films with Akina Motoso, one of them being Man on the Ground, which you won an award for.
Yeah.
What was that transition like for you?
It's very, very scary because I'd been producing across the continent, but in South Africa, people just knew me as this actress. Yeah. So going in and trying to source funding, they were like, but you Tsecho, the actress, what do you know about producing? So it was dealing with that type of backlash. Definitely the level of sexism that happened of, you know, come to my hotel room and we'll see what we can discuss. You know, all of those things. So I was dealing with
casting
that.
couch.
Yeah. And so getting through that. So that was the main challenging bit. But then, you know, we opened up at the Toronto Film Festival, which is one of the most amazing film festivals for African film. And that was our world premiere. And then to date, we've won 15 awards globally.
Wow.
So although it was a very, very tough transition and it was more of a passion project for all of us. So, you know, there were times that I'm thinking, how am I going to pay rent? How am I going to... But, you know, you just keep on going. But it was an important story to tell.
Wow. And you are so loved and so celebrated. I mean, I remember, you know, you were talking about going to Uganda and you just felt so in love with it.
Yeah.
I remember going to Rwanda for the first time and going, oh, this place is incredible. And now we obviously all know you from Hotel Rwanda, which was your big film. I mean, what an experience filming something of that magnitude. And also, the story was so...
gripping,
And it was so important. And, incredible. Just like Man on Ground, because of the xenophobic violence, we need to tell those stories.
Totally. I actually stayed at the Hotel Mekelis when I was in Rwanda. And that story is, and even now it should be told even more.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And other stories. There's so many other beautiful African stories, not even just historical, sad ones, but also beautiful, triumphant
ones
stories.
of Africa today.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't shy away from hardcore issues, and for a long time you were at the forefront of highlighting the scourge of violence against women and children, and you now sit on the board of Power.
Yeah.
Tell us about your work on that front, and some of it is generated from a personal experience, your passion for it.
Well, you know, unfortunately, when I was in university, I had an abusive boyfriend. And, you know, back then, our parents brought us up to say, well, if a man raises his hand to you, you walk out, which fortunately I had that. But a lot of parents don't warn our girls and boys on the different other levels of abuse. So while I was dating this guy, it was my first boyfriend, he was telling me that I needed to give him half of his money. So there was already a level of financial abuse. And I didn't know, so I was doing that. There was the psychological and the emotional, telling me, you know, I'm stupid, I'm fat, I'm never going to finish university, all of these different things. And people need to understand why a lot of women stay in those relationships is that if your self-esteem is really broken down to absolutely minimal, how are you going to get up and go? And especially if you're not financially dependent. I was fortunate that with the different levels of emotional abuse, when it got to the time when he actually hit me, that's when I actually woke up. And I also had very, very strong people around me to say, listen, this is not on. This is not how we, and it was a lot of my guy friends, how we men treat women. And then I left it alone. I was like, okay, well, I'm fine. I've dealt with it. And then universe kind of like threw in a spanner, and I got invited to this women's organisation in East London, the Masimanyani's Women's Group. And they said to me, give a talk on abuse. And me being the Virgo, I went and researched everything up online and everything, and I put it all in this beautiful speech. And to cut a long story short, I left the speech on the plane. And literally, I got off the plane. It was before Blackberries, before iPads, and I had to speak from the heart. And that's when I spoke about my experience. And the more I spoke, the more I cried. And the more I cried, I looked in the audience and I saw different women also reacting. And then I was like, okay, if my voice can make a change into somebody's life, just on that platform, what can I do? What else can I do in terms of my publicity? But I didn't just want to go in and be the celebrity that comes and says, okay, well, stop abuse and then get off stage. So I went to Power, People Opposing Women Abuse, and I did a 3-month intensive training course with them, learning about the levels of abuse, counselling, everything, so that if I was ever in a situation where somebody breaks down, I'd be able to react to it. And so, so I started, I did that with Power, I started volunteering. My first public speech was actually at a men's prison. My biggest fan were prisoners. I guess they had a lot of time in their hands. And literally it was 1,500 men, and within 10 minutes they were on their haunches listening to what I had to say. And it was actually that day that I decided that I needed to resign from Generations, because I was like, the impact that I had there, for the first time I was driving back to SABC and I was thinking, I'm going back to work. And the minute you feel that, it's time to shift gear.
Oh, that is remarkable.
Jeez, I've got
that is
goosebumps.
remarkable.
You are not going anywhere. We need to chat more.
Sure, so much more from our guest Rosie on the show today. And speaking of, we are on our social media accounts, particularly on Facebook, asking you the question, which of Rosie's roles inspire you the most? Actress, executive producer, or an ambassadorship for global issues? Morolong David Lesedi says, for me it has to be her ambassadorship, working closely with Uganda and continuing to fly the African flag high across the world. I love her dramatic side too on Generations. She's powerful and has that voice that just says, hey, listen. So I hope you guys are going to continue to join our conversations on social media. She'll be joining us after the break. Also, don't forget later on, learning about hair care. We're making some sliders. Plus, we chat to the runner-ups of that tropical island of treasure, Seychelles. It's Team Sivingezi. Don't go anywhere.
Tropica Slender is giving away a taste of paradise. To enter the competition, buy a Tropica Slender and complete the daily story with your own twist ending on the Tropica Facebook, Instagram pages, or on Twitter when you follow at MyTropica with #SlenderTwist. You could be the weekly winner of a beach hamper or LG DVD player and be entered into the grand prize draw for a trip for 2 to Seychelles, courtesy of Air Seychelles and the Savoy Resort and Spa. T's and C's and details are on tropica.coza.
It's Afternoon Express. Thank you very much. On SABC3, we're still on the couch with the amazing Rosie Motene.
Now, something I've read up so much about you because you are just amazing. And like I said to Rosie when I was greeting her earlier, it doesn't feel like I haven't seen you in such a long time because we're always on Facebook.
Or Instagram.
Yeah, exactly. But now, I was looking at that Generations clip and you looked so magnificent with this gorgeous long hair. But now you've recently shaved your head in solidarity of a friend of yours. Tell us about that story.
A very good friend of mine, who actually is based in Cape Town, Joanne Millman, obviously it was discovered that she had cancer. And it was towards the end of the year and I couldn't come down to be with her while she started her chemo. And so I shaved off my head, and in solidarity, it was my Christmas present to her.
Oh, that's so special.
Thank goodness everything is fine now, and she's been in remission for a good couple of years. This was 2012.
Good.
And then I was growing it back, and I realized, okay, like growing your hair and then it's short, it's not that easy.
Yeah, that transition phase is tough.
So somebody was like, no, but
it.
at this length, you got to comb it now. I was like, oh, so now I've got to go buy combs again.
Bonnie gets an Afro comb.
Yeah. Yes, I know. And then, but like, you know, at the time I was living in Norwood, and when
So
you're going to buy an Afro,
Bonnie has an Afro.
she's ethnic. She's got it. So then I've just kept it off. It's easier.
Well, it's amazing.
Stunning.
But I'm still interested in the second part of the story where the abuse happened again.
Yeah.
And this time it was with a stranger.
Yeah. You know, I think one thing I've realized is that whatever struggles you go through, your creators put you in them to prepare you for something bigger, whether it's good or whether it's bad. And because
I hate
of my,
that saying.
It's true.
It's so
though.
true, but I just
But you know, when I was with Power, one of the things that we always tell survivors is that, and I call us survivors, not victims, is that there's always going to be some level of intimidation. We're always going to be blamed. And this is exactly what happened with me. So I was ironically in Botswana for an event. It was for 16 days of activism. And I went out, wasn't even at the event, it was the day after, went out to this cocktail party. And one of the guys that I was with broke out into a fight with somebody else. And the guy who was having the argument with tried to punch him, and he ducked, and the punch landed on my nose. And as that happened, I heard a pop, and I felt like I was like a bit dizzy.
Oh.
And my friend said to him, you know, this is what you did, and he dismissed it. And I said to my friends, I said, I'm in pain. They said, okay, let's take you downstairs. And as I got into the lift, I looked at my face, and my face was like, I was like, guys, this is serious.
This is bad.
I want to press charges against this guy. Call security. Security were like, we're not getting involved. Called the hotel management, we're not getting involved. I was like, my friend was like, okay, we'll go to the police station. You take her to the hospital. Total strangers that I'd only met like the day before. Went to the hospital. The doctor looked at me. We did a CT scan. It was cracked in both places. He was like, we're admitting you. You're going into surgery tomorrow. By the time my friends had come back from the police station, they refused to intervene. They said the police are refusing to intervene. And I was like, what is the situation?
Why?
Who is this person? No, he's very, very connected and so forth. So I was like, okay, well, first of all, if he's that connected, what's going to stop him and his cronies to come in to intimidate me in the hospital? But also, I'm pressing charges. I called our embassy. It was a Friday evening. Embassy was closed. They were only opening on Monday. So I made a very, very brave step, and I went to Twitter, and I went to Facebook, and I went onto Instagram. I said, this is what's happened. I'm at this hospital. I need assistance from our government. Who can help?
Who can help?
And, you know, our country has many problems, but we still are I'd say in one of the top ranking, because the amount of support that came in. I mean, I got a call from Klumla. He put me onto Metro, spoke to Fat Joe and Pearl. They got through to Advocate Leslie Sidibe from Proudly South Africa, who then got hold of the office, the South African Embassy office. And I remember lying in the bed, and the doctor had given me this medication. He was like, okay, you're emotional, you need to sleep. And I opened my eyes, and these two women stood over me, and they were like, it's okay, baby, we're from home. We're here to look after you.
Wow.
And they're like, oh, I want to go home. And then what they did was they then called the police again. And because there was clout, then the police finally came the following morning. I was able to press charges. At that time, a friend of mine had already booked me a flight home because I was like, if I'm going to surgery, I want to be at home. And yeah, it was literally got home, got onto the flight, because by that time press were already at the hospital. So it was like a crazy movie. They had to take me through the back area, got into the flight, got off. 2 days later, I was in surgery, fixing my nose.
And what happened to him?
And so, yeah, so within those 2 days, I then suddenly saw my Twitter account like doubled, just from majority from people from Botswana. And then the letter, the messages of intimidation that I got, and, oh, you're just seeking for attention, your career's in tatters, so you need attention. And one tweet that really stood out for me was that women are being beaten every single day. Why is it a big thing? Because it's happening to Rosie Motene. And then I made that concerted effort. I was like, okay, I need to heal and I need to be strong because I'm not going to let this lie. And that's exactly what I did. It was December, I cancelled all my gigs, and I gave myself a mourning period until end of January. And after end of January, that is when I was going to take action. And in the interim, he did interviews, came to South Africa, lied about all of these different things. And then finally, when I came to, I'd also planned to do a climb up Kilimanjaro. So I hadn't done my training for about 2 months because of what had happened. And I thought, okay, well, if I can get through this and I can get to the top of Uhuru, I'll be able to deal with this guy. Yeah. And lo and behold, I ended up climbing Kilimanjaro. By the grace of God, I got to Uhuru. And that was a promise I made to myself. So I came back. I remembered seeing one of the newspaper articles saying that, you know, South African government need to intervene. I contacted Interpol. 20 minutes later after Interpol, the guy calls me. He goes, okay, I'm sorry. I was like, it's not that easy. So went to Botswana, had a mediation with my lawyer, with his lawyer. He did a public apology, reimbursed me for all of my medical bills, my return trips, because the police were wanting to try and change my statement and all. But my main thing was that I needed that public and his apology to say how he handled it was wrong. Granted, he didn't plan to hit me, but the punch landed on my nose, and he should have taken responsibility for his actions.
Should have taken account.
And then I also made him give a donation to 2 women's organisations.
That's incredible.
So, yeah.
Good for you.
So,
I mean,
and
how
the thing
symbolic
is
was that mountain climb as well?
You know, and the thing is, what it also opened up other conversations is that what that woman said was that it's so true. Why isn't it a big thing when a woman is beaten up? Why is it only because I'm a big public figure and I've got a big mouth?
It
happens every day. You know, and we got to stop keeping quiet about it. We got to stop talking about it. We got to find a resolution. And it's not just about women. It's men also need to be part of the conversation.
Absolutely.
You know.
Well done for continuing to speak about it and being so brave and courageous.
Thank you. Yeah.
You're amazing.
It's such an inspiration to have her in the loft with us today, and I'm so glad that we've got people like her in our country. Everyone's always talking about weak leadership and how people are not standing up to the plate. She's definitely doing all of those things, encouraging all of us to be the same. So perhaps you and I at home need to really reflect on how much we really care about these topics, to go out there and really do something about it. Such an inspiration. On our Facebook page, we're asking you what inspires you the most about Rosie. I'm sure there's so many different facets, whether it's her work life, producer life, business life, or her ambassadorships. And Busi Siwe Majola says, good afternoon on this beautiful Wednesday. What a beautiful, fearless, and very inspirational guest you guys have brought us today. Rosie is one of the best actresses that I grew up watching, and I must say she aced her role as Tsecho Motene on Generations. Beautiful work, Rosie. Keep raising the African flag up high. We super look up to you and your work. And I thought I had to go and read that comment out because it sums up everything that Rosie is. What an honor to have her with us in the loft today. Coming up after the break, we sit down Team Civ after coming in as runners-up on Tropica Island of Treasure, Seychelles. Get the popcorn, it's gonna be saucy. A warm welcome back to Afternoon Express on SABC3. Now, this week's episode of Tropic Island of Treasure, Seychelles, saw the last two teams compete in the final challenge for the grand prize of R1 million. Today, we have Civ and Cubs in our loft, the second place team, to talk about their experience this competition. Guys, welcome to the loft.
Thank you. Hi. You're a great guy. It's very sad to be here, to be seeing you for the runner-up section.
I was about to say, it probably wasn't like, you'd probably rather be on an island right now than sitting in the loft.
Absolutely.
Throwing money in the air, watching it fall.
With our millions.
Listen, we'll get to all of that in the last few rounds of the competition, but I mean, just the way that you two met and your team dynamic was such an exciting thing to watch on television. You guys created such cool TV and you had such a cool chemistry. Let's take a look at quickly how you guys met.
Tell me what makes you special.
I'm a team player, man. I am competitive AF. Trust me, I will be swearing to get you to perform your best.
If there's a granny in front of you and we need to get past her, are we going around her or through her?
She's gonna have to fall.
She's falling?
She's gonna have to fall.
Like fees. Good chance. Okay, cool.
Boom, 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 boom.
Cats?
Hey, what are you doing here?
Good news for you. You are part of Team Civ, Seychelles. Now, you ready?
And boy, were you so ready for that. Tell me about why you ended up choosing Cubs, and Cubs, why you were so happy to be with Team Civ.
First of all, I just want to say that her being on TV has improved her immensely. She went from a 7.5 to like an 8.5 now.
Well, at least I'm at an 8.5. Let's just focus on the positive, people. Focus on the positive.
I'm joking.
Throw me under the bus now that we're
Rude,
back.
Now
we lost and now he's bitter.
Back in the real world, he's like, don't need to be charming anymore.
I thought we were tight.
She has become one of my best friends in the world.
Awesome.
And I think the only thing that went wrong is that we didn't bring the million home. And I would have loved for her to come back with $500,000 and pay for her wedding. But she's become my best friend in the world. And sometimes I just call her when I feel bad, and I'm just like, just smile. Like I was just about to say the S word, but I was like, just smile, and then I feel better when I see her smiling. So we've become very close.
For me, it was definitely on paper. I had no idea who Civ was, and he looked great on paper.
You can't keep on telling people this. Sorry, how can you not telling people you don't know who I am?
I don't watch that much TV.
Come on, you tell people
My life is really cool, okay?
Let's try this again. Tell them how you know me all my life.
I don't know how you worked with this the entire season. Ignore him. Tell us why you were so happy and excited to work with this crazy
Civ looked incredible on paper.
On paper?
Because that is as far as I knew him at the time. He looked like someone who would be just as competitive as me, if not explosively competitive. And he just looked like a lot of fun. And he had a six-pack going, so I was like, okay, athleticism.
It's an 8-pack.
8, 6, 12, you've got it, whatever.
Oh my, does he need a lot of compliments? Is he one of those guys who needs all the affirmation?
Every day we're stroking. Like this, we're stroking.
Speaking of stroking, you guys had these weird like handshakes and high fives and songs and things that you would just do together throughout the whole season. That was like, was it an intimidation tactic on the other teams, or was it like your bonding?
No, she's played provincial sport. I've played provincial
sport. Actually.
Ooh. She's played SA sport. I've played provincial sport. I played competitive sport. I boxed. So we knew that for this to work, we needed to be a team. And that's what we became. We became one. We weren't a team, we became one. And that's what happened over those couple of weeks, you know?
Did you struggle to, because you're a very competitive guy and we know this, and I mean, you've probably figured this out as you've gone along the whole journey, and you're quite a competitive lady too. Did you struggle to break out of that and to realize that this was actually just a game? Because, well, when I say a game, you guys were fighting for a lot of money, but did you struggle to break out of that zone? Were you just too intense?
It absolutely wasn't just a game. What language is that you're speaking?
But try to enjoy yourselves. I'm so scared that you guys would not manage to enjoy yourself because you're so obsessed by the challenges, or...
I definitely wouldn't call it an obsession, Dan. I feel like Civ and I always spoke the same language. In our everyday lives, we strive to be our best, and we strive for excellence in everything that we do. It doesn't mean that we aren't having fun along the way, which we did. We had a lot of fun. Obviously not fun to lose, which is why we're here. But it really has been great.
I don't know if you know this, but do you know that racehorses race, and when they race, they want to beat the other horses.
Yes.
Do you know that racehorses are known to bite other horses when the other horse is leading, nip them in the back? So it's the same as that. Horses can't live without competing. Kabunina and I cannot live without competing, and when we don't win, like, You do not understand how not winning irritates us tremendously.
I guess that's one thing about sort of game shows, is that it's always up to the games, and that final challenge was the big one that lost them the competition. Let's take a look at some of the highlights from that final challenge on Tropica Island of Treasure.
We've worked hard and dominated with Getcha, and we're feeling confident. We're both beyond capable.
Go!
So we're pulling, and he's running, and we're getting the paddle out at the same time as them. 20 meters for what?
Swing terrier.
This is our clue, so it should be quite easy.
Come on!
Got it, Steph!
Feeling confident, we've got a lead. Get to the keys, then we have a system. Just calm and steady.
Okay.
Fine, we went through that very quickly. Opened up a 6-minute lead on Anga and Bongs. We have all the capabilities to still win. We're strong, we're fast, we're great under pressure. But definitely one of our biggest challenges starts, and that's the paddle boarding. We're trying to create a box, right?
Yeah, cube.
Cube.
Man, oh man, and it all happened at that time. That 6-minute lead that you guys had, the SUP was something that just kind of got the best of you guys. But I mean, there were so many other highlights in this whole series. Everyone loved you two as a team. You guys won all the challenges. You were so focused at everything that you guys were doing, and you brought such a nice energy. Were there any crazy highlights for you, things that you'll never forget from Tropic Island of Treasure, Seychelles?
I feel like our fighting spirit, getting us to the final, awesome. Dream come true, execution, well, near execution of the goal from the beginning. And just our little victories. I just feel like if ever there was a team spirit prize or a team ethos prize, we were definitely the takers of that. We had our face paint that we brought with us to the island. We had little gimmicks and gadgets that were definitely there to just boost each other and always keep us focused.
Yeah. I think you guys will take that with you forever. I mean, I'm so glad to hear that you two are remaining friends, because I've never seen such a fighting spirit between two people in my life ever. And we've really enjoyed seeing your particular competitive spirit come to light, and just to see the way that your strategies and stuff have come together. So well done to both of you for making it so far in the competition, and really, really good to see you guys take home all those different challenges beforehand. One of the strongest teams on Tropical Island of Treasure, mind, body, spirit, everything. So good luck to the rest of you, to both of you, as you continue on your journeys.
She's got some big projects coming up, but we won't talk about it tomorrow.
Awesome. Well, I can't wait to see it all.
She's going to be a star.
Good. Make sure you guys get on following them on all the social media platforms. We're going to take a short commercial break, and we'll be right back.
Sea Harvest. New look, same great taste.
Welcome back to Afternoon Express. We're live on SABC3. Loving reading all your comments on social media. You're our favorite part of the show. My other second favorite thing happens to be a delicious meal. And because it's the middle of the week, how about a little slider? Megan Daniels is showing us how to make the most delicious version of sliders because you've wrapped them in bacon.
Of course.
You're my favorite.
And put a little spicy twist to it.
Yummy.
So
before you get going with this recipe, I forgot, obviously you guys want to get this recipe on your mobile device. You SMS the keyword EAT to 33650. It'll cost you $150 and those free SMSs don't apply. No need for recipe books, no need to take down pen and paper. Just send through that SMS and all the details will arrive on your mobile device.
Perfect.
Get going, Megan. What are you waiting for?
So you can see that our onions are already smiling at us over there.
Cool. So using a nice red onion here, just that sweetness.
So the one thing that you don't want to do is ever rush your onions. You want to put them in really low and slow with a little bit of oil so that they literally get translucent and gorgeous. That's about 20 minutes, just literally going like that.
Wow.
So to this, to make our really spicy oriental style mango salsa, we're just going to add a little bit of garlic.
So I'll take this and I'll stir things around for you.
There we go. Cool. A little bit of ginger. Again, oriental flavor.
So you're making like fricadelles as the patty for these sliders, and I'm going to be making the salsa as like a topping for the slider.
Yeah, so we're using the Woolworths easy to cook range, which is exactly that, so easy to cook.
Okay.
And it just makes it so much easier to just eat really gourmet during the week.
Yummy. So you would have thought by fricadelles, you would have put it in a tomato sauce, I'm sure, and served it with rice or something. We're going to show you how to make delicious sliders out of it. So just get creative. Make the meal feel like your own, you know?
Can you smell that? That's the cumin.
That smells so yum.
Then some smoked chili flakes, just for that smokiness. And then some fresh chili, just for some heat.
Cool, I like it. Chili, fresh chili, ground chili.
All kinds of chili, right?
If you got tuned into the show yesterday, it was so funny. Our guest, Siyabonga Radebe, he hates chili, but he ended up tasting the chili at the end. He was like, hey, it's not too bad. So we converted him into chili. So hopefully with this recipe, we can do that to you too.
So the classic Asian kind of flavors is the sweet and the sour. So we're literally going in with a bit of vinegar.
Which vinegar are you using for this one?
You can do apple cider vinegar, you can do white vinegar, you can do
white
brown
wine vinegar. Anything as long as it's not balsamic.
That's true.
Okay.
And then so we've also gone in with the sugar, and then because of seasonality, Woolworths makes it so easy with their dried mango that you can have it all times of the year, and you can also have this in your pantry for you to just whip this up at all times of the year.
So you're making like a mango salsa?
Yes.
Like, is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Okay, yum.
So this mango we basically have just hydrated, so just in some water overnight. Just so that it looks like this. So it technically looks like fresh mango,
Yeah,
right?
it looks like they. So you know the soft, chewy mangoes that they've got, like the dried mango with the soft one.
Exactly.
That's
so
exactly
you can.
like that.
I mean, it's technically a really healthy sweet, I suppose.
Yum, yes.
So in with that, and you can see like it's just this was filled with water, and it's just sapped it all up. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
So look at that. How
So
good
this is all going to make your delicious new flavors. It's got that sweetness in there from the mangoes. You've got that sour, like that tartness from the vinegar.
You completely balanced it. So then we're going to go in with a little bit of zest.
Cool. This is my favorite dish. Honestly, sliders, whenever I get to events and things, you always see, like at functions, you go to like business events, etc. Always everyone goes straight for the sliders. I know everyone always make those little cookie crackers with cheese and stuff. Everyone goes straight for the sliders.
They're super easy to eat.
I should just make more of them, yeah.
And this is just like a really quick and simple way to make it at home.
Delicious.
So the juice of a lemon.
This is an entertainer's recipe, this one.
Yes, of course. And Woolies has the seedless lemon, so it makes it so much easier.
You have to squeeze it through your fingers and things in the process.
There we go.
Wow.
So you can see it's completely got a really good texture. So you could add this to a blender and it would literally turn into
like this. That's what I would suggest. I was actually going to say this is quite a chunky thing to put on burgers themselves. I'll always be worried that they'd fall out the sides. It's nice that you've got a paste.
I quite like it, especially in like an entertaining thing. It kind of takes the edge off.
Okay, delicious. All right, so this is this part. Later on, we're going to show everyone how to make fricadelles. Okay.
That's true. So we're just going to show you the first little bit to the recipe, which is so quick and simple. So just your fricadelle, your bacon, and then wrap.
Roll it up in a little slice of bacon, put a toothpick through it, and ta-da. Those are then going to go into an oven, I'd imagine. We're going to show everyone how to do that later. Is that a surprise for us?
A surprise, yeah.
Okay, so we're going to show you how to complete this recipe a little bit later, right here on Afternoon Express. The whole point of the show and you being engaged with all that happens in the kitchen is to try and not make this cooking, dinners, etc. a hair-raising affair. And speaking of hair-raising...
Now, for a long time, the issues relating to black hair
hair have been addressed and discussed on the surface level, but in recent years, the topic has taken a turn with more and more people openly engaging on this multi-million rand industry. We see the change in narrative through the rise in available products catering to black hair and the many options now available to treat a variety of black hair types. Back in the loft to help us delve a little further into this booming industry and what drives it is Head & Shoulders hairstylist ambassador and owner of Lajawi Beauty Cafe, Jawad Mapoto. Welcome to the loft.
Thanks, Bonnie.
Yeah, loving the hair.
Thanks.
So, recent reports show that between 2010 and 2015, the black hair market accounts for about 6.3 billion rand in sales.
Yes.
And I mean, even despite that, I still feel like there's not enough hair care products that cater to black hair.
Yeah, I mean, the market has grown quite big in the 5 years period. And when you look at it, it's pretty much looking at the fact that is it maybe quality over quantity? Are this brand investing in the best products that do cater for our needs? Because, I mean, it's quite a challenge because, I mean, we've seen that there's been launches of few black products out there and the business is growing. But I think the most important thing is to make sure that it addresses what it's supposed to, you know, because I think big brands, somehow, somewhere, they're not really investing in making sure that maybe you can find that the product is good, but they're not educating the consumers to be able to know how to use it. Because sometimes if you don't get enough education, then somehow, even if the product is good, you kind of like lose, you use it in a way and then you feel like it's not really working.
Like it's not working.
Yeah.
Or you just use the same old thing you were using before. Or sometimes people don't even use product on their hair. They're like, as long as it's washed, I can even slap on some Vaseline, I'll be fine.
Yeah, yeah, no, that's where we're getting it wrong because, I mean, nowadays there's a lot of information that goes out there and somehow, somewhere, I'm always against it whereby, well, the brands will go with the people that maybe will write on the net about products and all that, but you find that most people who are influencers, they're most likely to have nicer quality hair, and you go and you mix your things without having a proper dosage, and somehow, somewhere,
it doesn't work.
It still takes you back, whereby you're still experiencing a hair loss, you know.
Yeah.
So I think it's important to invest in more knowledge and professional route.
And I mean, having said that, in recent years, we've seen more social media pages, groups, and websites dedicating time and giving information and education to black people on how to better take care of their scalps and the importance of taking care of their hair, which shows that there's been a deficit and a lack of information. But how can brands engage people and meet people where they're at?
Yeah, because, I mean, brands, mostly they would likely for people to buy and do, but I think it's nice that the information is grown more broader, but it still don't get to that average person who really need that information, you know, because, I mean, they really need to invest a lot in media so that people can get to know, and also maybe engaging with the expert, you know, brands partnering with expert, that will actually help them to understand, because you know, finding information on the net is nice, but you might think it works for you, but there's different formulas for everyone. So it's important to deal with the people that knows what's happening on an everyday use and know those challenges and know how to get to deal with them, because I think our industry is an industry that you find that someone can start from nowhere and then become a stylist, but I think it is important that the organizations need to engage the stylist and making sure that they strengthen their rules, because people get to lose their hair because they go to unprofessional stylists or do things that somehow, somewhere do damage their
And also
hair.
some people don't have access to the internet yet. And when, as a hairstylist, when you heard that one of the most credible brands in hair care were bringing out a range for black hair, how did you feel? Head & Shoulders, namely. How did you feel when you heard that and they wanted to partner with you?
Yeah, I mean, it was quite great for me, and I mean, it's been an ongoing conversation, but I think one of the most important thing was I looked at it as, does it going to work for my clients? Because, I mean, I looked at around the professional brands that I use, and I find that I know previously, back in the days, people used to want to try Head and Shoulders, but it wasn't for their right target market. And it was quite exciting that it actually entertains what we need, because, I mean, there's a lot of tap, you know, in the offices, in the taxis, everywhere. So I think that's a need for us to actually try to engage a healthy route for hair. Like they say, I mean, if you take care of your scalp, then you're going to grow healthy hair.
Absolutely. And how do you as a hairstylist feel that this information can trickle down to every hair salon? Because sometimes you walk into a hair salon and there's just like 3 little bottles of product.
Yeah.
And you're like, guys, I'm sure you should have like a whole wealth of products here and information for me.
You know, our industry, it's quite tricky. And I mean, it's like for each his own, you know, the salons that you go to, the most important thing is to try to find the best products that work for you. And I think, I mean, we're working on something that is going to engage the stylist, and we're planning on giving them more knowledge and growing the industry, because, I mean, we can't afford to not have the right kind of products or the right kind of stylist, because, I mean, when you walk to the salon, you tend to believe that you're going to get treated well, and the stylist...
And that you're going to meet the experts.
Need to understand what is scalp, what is hair, you know. I mean, we've got different hair types that need different challenges. I mean, there's different weathers that their hair need to be entertained in different ways.
Yeah,
but I think knowledge is something that is going to help to...
Absolutely. I was actually just about to say that. I'm glad that the knowledge is getting out there. Thank you so much for sharing your time and your knowledge with us. So Head and Shoulders is giving away 2 hampers to 2 lucky viewers, valued at 500 Rand each, filled with products from their new African hair care range. To stand a chance to win, simply post on the Afternoon Express Facebook page, telling us how many products are in the new hair care range. Don't forget the hashtag live scratch free. T's and C's apply and can be found on afternoonexpress.co.za. We'll be right back. Don't go away.
Live scratch free with new Head and Shoulders African Scalp Care.
Welcome back to Afternoon Express. We're live on SABC3. Our kitchen is the heart of your home, and we're busy making these delicious sliders on the show today. They are so yum, so decadent, and so full of flavor. Megan Daniels, food stylist and food blogger, is showing us how to put these together. You're very lucky, actually, because yesterday what we did is we made our chef sing out to ad break. So I'm going to take it easy on you today, all right? So let's finish off these.
I'm giving you a slider, so...
True, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good return policy.
I may have seen you nibbling as well in the ad break, so...
Don't tell them. Let's get finished off with this recipe.
So we have our griddle pan really, really hot at the moment, which is really good. So you can just spray and cook it. It's really easy. And you're going to add these guys to it.
Yummy. If you guys have just tuned into the show, we're busy making these sliders, and I gave you all the details on how to get the recipe earlier on. But just a quick reminder, if you want to get the recipe and a link to the shopping list, etc., we'll get an if you send us an SMS to 33650 at a cost of R1.50 with the keyword EAT, you'll be getting an SMS in return with all the details on how to make these sliders on the show. So it's EAT 33650 at a cost of R1.50.
If you would like to not use bacon and use something else, I was actually thinking you could use some zucchini ribbons.
Oh, I see.
So that could...
And a veggie component.
Yeah, why not?
I like that. Or if you like very fancy, you can go and find some like pancetta or something, like a really thinly sliced pancetta that's salty.
All that kind of stuff. You can see it's coming along really, really nicely.
So you want to crisp up that bacon on the
Yeah,
one side.
I think so. So this is actually what they're going to come out as, which is really nice because you basically want to do this until the bacon is completely crisp. But if you are unsure about how cooked it is in the middle, I mean, Woolies already has it pretty cooked inside as well, which is great. So,
which means they've been pre-cooked on the inside?
Yes.
Well, these fricadelles?
Yes.
Oh,
So
my
what's
word.
actually great is that you pop it into the oven. If you are a little bit worried just to have like bacon extra crispy or something, just on grill, and then they come out.
Oh my
perfect.
word, amazing. So they don't have to cook for that long. I was always worried that this would cook first. All right, let's move on to the next couple of steps because we can see how they're meant to come out looking. Oh, yum.
There we go.
But then how do we get all of these things and these items together? Because I see you've also got a slaw for us.
Yes. So we're going to be using the Asian coleslaw. Okay, so to this, we're going to add the pureed mango salsa to it.
This we made before the break, by the way.
Yes. This is really, really spicy kick.
Cool, yummy.
You can try it on your own if you'd like to.
I'm going to just try it out. Can I still on your spoons? I know that's
Yes,
probably
you know, it
illegal.
always adds quite a bit of flavour and quite a bit of heat.
Oh,
So,
yum. Wow. Perfect balance
Really
of
good,
flavors.
right?
It's got the nice spice to it. Sweet, tangy. Brilliantly balanced. Well done.
And then what's so easy is that the slaw is already done, so no chopping, no fuss,
Just gooi it on like
completely
that. You got that crisp with the slaw.
Look at that.
Pop your fricadelle on top.
I would add a little bit more of this though.
Who needs tea sauce, tomato sauce, when you got this stuff? Yummy. And just like that, we've got our slider.
There we go, yes.
Done and dusted.
Done and dusted.
Simple like that. Dinner for your friends, dinner for your family, your next function, perhaps it's your birthday coming up. Happy birthday if it is. But second of all, we've got the menu sorted on Afternoon Express. If you guys missed any of the steps along the way, here's a quick recap.
tomorrow we start a brand new series as we bring you the latest beauty guide right here on Afternoon Express. With the help of aesthetics pioneer Dr. Anushka Reddy, we'll be showcasing all the latest in cutting-edge treatments, sure to keep you looking your youngest, and its transformations guaranteed to uplift and inspire. We'll be running this every Thursday from tomorrow, so don't miss it.
Oh, that's going to be so cool. I know what uplifts and inspires me.
This
Food.
is very inspiring.
Can I give it to you?
And something that's
Give me the little one,
noteworthy.
yeah.
Something that's noteworthy about our guest today, Rosie, is that she is that comforting voice you hear on our national airline when you're buckling in and you hear, put on your seatbelt. Please, can you just
do the voice?
Cabin crew, prepare the cabin for landing.
It's got such a richness to its voice. I always wondered, like, if that girl that's in the video where her voice is playing over, I'm almost like, that voice cannot come from that girl. Like, it does not fit.
Why not?
No, it's not her walking down the aisle. It's not her. It's like
because it's actually animated.
No, it's not animated. It's another young lady.
I know which one you're talking about. It's another lady.
Okay.
So I'm not crazy, all right? It's Wednesday, but I'm still sane.
There's nothing sane about you. Thank you so much for coming through to our loft. What an absolute pleasure having you here. You're an absolute gift.
Stop. Everyone's been loving you on social. Am I the only one eating?
No, you're not. I'm going to join you.
Please do just...
Let me try. Okay, I see. Well, we can just wrap that off.
Okay, I'm stealing one of those.
You can just have the salsa.
I'm also going to take it off.
Is it salsa?
Yeah, salsa.
Okay, I'll try the mango salsa.
Yummy! And we hope you have a wonderful dinner as well. From us, good night and happy eating.
Yeah,
Cheers.
thank you so much for joining.
Sure, hey, don't go all out, hey, sure.
You can eat the bread.
Coming up tomorrow on Afternoon Express, we sit down with internationally renowned celebrity stylist June Ambrose, who has worked with the best of the best, including P. Diddy, Will Smith and Mary J. Blige. So join us again tomorrow live at 4 p.m. on SABC3. Another feel-good production.